Hi, my beautiful souls. Happy full moon in Aquarius. It's the early hours of the 12th of August, if you're here in GMT time, or it falls into the 11th of August if you're in the US. And so we have this full moon, which is also a super moon. So it means when we see it, it's so close to the Earth, so it will feel like it's bigger, brighter. So if you get a chance and you can see it, really go and be in that wonderful moonlight. The full moon is in Aquarius, which means the sun is in Leo, and that's illuminating the moon and making it really powerful. And so Aquarius is all about the collective. It's about humanity, but also Aquarius is it's the visionary. Damn it. Let's try again. Hi, my beautiful souls. Happy full moon. This full moon falls on either the early hours of Friday the 12th of August, depending where you are, Europe, South Africa, or it falls into the 11th of August if you're in the US. And it is in Aquarius. It is also a supermoon. So a supermoon means it's really close to Earth. So it looks bigger, brighter. And the effects of it is that it illuminates even more. So the impact of this moon energy is really about illuminating things. And I'll get into the aspects of how that is working for you and how you can work with this energy. It is an Aquarius, and Aquarius is really much about the collective. It is how it's the visionary. Aquarians are the rebel-like. They're the ones that march to their own beat, so they drum, slightly eccentric. They always say that, but it's because in their minds, and they're very much the mind, the air element, is because they can see the future. They can see this vision of how it can be. And so whereas Pisces is very much that feeling space, this is in the head. So while the Aquarius is like, I can see what the future is, I can see how this can help humanity. It's also very much about the technology. So a lot of the stuff that's coming through is very much Aquarian age, but it isn't necessarily built into a space of compassion. Aquarians really have trouble dropping into their heart space. But there is this way of we can make the world better. We can see how we can make the world better. So this energy that's here is almost this opportunity for you to be like, how can you make the world better? How are your visions feeding into making yourself and your world better? And in that rippling out into making the collective better, because when we heal and work on our own thing, that naturally expands and elevates the consciousness of the collective. So it doesn't necessarily have to be that you have to do this big thing and touch massive amounts of people. But if you're working within your community and making a difference there, that will ripple out. So this energy of Aquarius is we have quite a few interesting aspects with it. So it is conjuncting Saturn. Saturn is the Aquarius ruler, but it's also squaring Uranus, and Uranus also rules Aquarius. So it's quite interesting that it's playing with both of its rulerships, depending which one you believe. And with this, it is also touching a bit of Mars and the node. So the triple conjunction energy is almost being touched by this full moon, but also we're bringing in that bit of Saturn energy. Now, my chart is ruled by Saturn, so I have a great love for Saturn. And Saturn is, for me, it's the great teacher. Saturn brings about limitations and restrictions, but in the sense of if you put in the word work is potentially not that, but if you put in the effort and you do the things you need to do and take those steps you need to take, you will be rewarded. So for me, it's that great teacher of it will show you where your obstacles, where you potentially aren't living up to potential, or you're sort of like hiding from stuff. Saturn will bring sort of those things in. And Saturn is like the taskmaster of like, well, if you want that, what are you going to do to achieve that? You know, and following this great conjunction, which was about shifting us in the collective to a different level, a higher consciousness. That is what was happening. So bringing the square aspect into Uranus, it's sort of like we have all of this coming up, you know, as I mentioned at the beginning in the Mercury thing, is whatever's bubbling up, it's now Saturn going, okay, well, where are you standing in your way? It's pretty much simple as that. Or where are you avoiding doing the stuff you need to do? Because we all do that. We all have these wonderful lists and we know there's things that we should be doing, and we'll be like, well, just push it over there. I know it's there, but you know, if I don't see it. And this moon is asking you to be like, well, if you want to create this vision, you want to step into that, then you need to do those things you're avoiding. You know, you need to heal those parts of self. And so because this moon is quite, you know, because it's a super moon and like thing, the emotions around this can be really heightened. Your body can feel this a lot too. So often I find that you can feel quite swollen up during the moon. So just, you know, be aware of what your body is also telling you. But it is a great energy because we have the Saturn energy of drilling into things, and we have Mercury now also like in that Virgo. It is really about, okay, I'm going to do these things. I'm going to tackle this to-do list. I'm going to just do it. You know, I'm going to take it on and do it because I can see how this will benefit me in the future. I can see by finishing this now that my future self will be excited. My future self will be deeply grateful. I can see how this affects me in the future. So it really is that point of view of you can be in this now, seeing where you want to be, and recognizing these are all the steps you take to get there. And how are you going to make these steps? So this is really what that energy is. It's really this one of like drilling down into it and doing the hard work, tackling those things, you know, really, really being honest about yourself and what are you avoiding. And that will come up for you. So that's the energy that we have building up now. And it will be then, you know, the new moon and the full moon energy, sorry. It builds up for 3 days, it peaks, and it's still there for 3 days. So you almost have, I'd suppose, this week window to really do these things, take them off, and like feel the sense of achievement because Saturn rewards. So even though it then feel really harsh, you know, it can be, oh my God, quite confronting. Saturn always rewards when you put in the work. There's almost that guaranteed of there will be a success to this. There will be that. So I really encourage you for that. Another thing we have happening on the 11th of August is Venus moves into Leo, and she's there till the 5th of September. So this is really, I mean, we've had Venus in Cancer, that very nurturing thing. And Leo's about, I am here, owning the space. So continuing this Leo energy, but now we have Venus, this planet of love, of generosity. It's also a planet of material wealth, money. So coming into this Leo season, it's almost like, how am I using my creative energy to create more love, to create more abundance in my world? It's really a beautiful thing of how am I showing the world my creativity? And how does this create more abundance in my life? How does this create more money in my life? How am I with my money? There can be an element of feeling more generous. So there could be that thing of just caution of, are you doing the generosity to gain like awareness from a pride perspective, or are you being really generous because it feels really good to you to give, to share? So seeing that. But for me, the Leo energy with Venus is really like, you just come in and you have your divine feminine energy and you're like, I am here. And look how magnificent I am. And look how beautiful I am. And not from a prideful space, but just because I know my inherent worth is I know that I am worthy. I know that this is me. I know my beauty. And I can see that in everyone else. And I can encourage that. So bringing in that Aquarius energy of the community, I can encourage everyone else to see that because we're all mirrors of each other. So holding that beautiful thing, and really allowing yourself to take pride in your talents and sharing that and seeing the beauty and perhaps creating more beauty in your life. Like, where can you make things more beautiful that feels like safe to you? You've just come out of Cancer, where it was all about the home space. And how do you create more beauty in your world? How do you share more love with your community? How do you express that love in a really like just exuberance. I just feel like my whole heart space like opens up with this energy. And so really feeling into that and allowing it, because it's really beautiful. And using this next few weeks, it's about a month, to play with that energy. You know, if you have really special loved ones, telling them how much you love them, creating beautiful memories together, and just really honoring the divine feminine, you know, and her mighty, her beauty. And once again, this message of like, really play with what feels beautiful for self, you know, perhaps changing up your hair a bit, or if there's a style you're wanting to be tried, or maybe it's just wearing different colors. Really allow yourself to express your creativity also with how you present yourself to the world. Who is this beautiful person, and how are you bringing that alive in your space? And so that is the energy update for you guys. And yeah, like I said, it really is a time, so while we have this really beautiful Venus energy, which often softens a bit of the moon energy, I might feel, use this also as an opportunity to drill into what you're avoiding and approach it from this Venus energy of divine feminine, knowing your worth, and that even if there are things you haven't got to and you're being avoiding, you have the power to change that. And it's not from a place of judgment or self-criticism, but coming from the space of divine love and being like, okay, cool, this person I want to be, you know, asking that question again of like, the future self, the future me is going to be really proud of the fact that I did all this stuff now. I'm really proud that I tackled that and opened space for that. I'm really proud that I ticked off those things. And at the same time, the current me and the future me is immensely proud of myself because of everything I have done. So it's not a case of sitting and being like, oh my God, I'm still in the same space, or I haven't done this and I haven't done that. It's more like, well, what have you done, loves? Because I can promise you, you've probably done a hell of a lot. And sometimes we just look at the external and think that, oh, that's our barometer, and it is. But the external is the last thing to manifest. A lot of the stuff gets done internally first. And if you're doing this deep internal work, know that the external will reflect that. It will, and I can promise you it will. But be proud of everything you're doing now. You know, you are beautiful, you are worthy, and you are just doing incredible work by showing up for yourself every single day. And so I'm sending you so much love and compassion and beauty. Yes, so much beauty. And remember, shine your light brightly. Okay, my loves, I'll chat to you soon. Bye.